Hello and welcome to the Madison podcast. I am New York's favorite bald British mortgage broker, Ben Lavender. Thank you for tuning in. Today we have some very, very special guests. We have Helen Challenger, broker, owner, gangster extraordinaire of Challenger Brokers, along with Mike. Mike, what is your last name? I don't know your last name. Arlotta. Okay, I'll practice that. Mike is the branding director for Challenger Brokers. So we're very, very excited to have you guys on. You have been doing some really incredible things. And I don't just say that because you guys send us business. We genuinely enjoy working with you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And it's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise.
Of course. So let's get started. I find that when we do these podcasts, we want to start from the beginning, especially because we have a lot of people in the business that view the podcast, and especially for newer people in the business, when they see someone like you who has gotten to the position that you are, it's basically like, how do I do that? Right. So Helen, can you give us like some insight as to like, how did you get into the business? Like, and then, at what portions did your growth like kick in? Like when did you take it into first, second, third gear, et cetera?
Well, it's so funny because I technically got my real estate license in 2011. So but I didn't practice real estate. I just got it. The reason I became a real estate agent back then is I was working for a commercial company, a commercial real estate company, and I was doing their paperwork, just paperwork. I was running the back office, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that every time the clients would come in and they would chat with me and I had a great connection with them. And one of the last deals that they had, it was a huge deal. The commission was like $2.5 million. For me, it was insane. To see those numbers. And the person who purchased that property, he said, well, I'm only purchasing that because of Helen Challenger. She's the one who kept me here. And I wasn't really doing the negotiation, but I would do the convincing for that. I don't know why. I would just get into it.
Well, you were like the primary contact, so you grew a relationship.
And he said to me, well, I'm only doing it because of her, so I want to make sure she gets paid. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Not a problem at all. And of course, I never got paid.
Of course.
All right. So that kind of incited
me. Yeah, switch the brain like I'm supposed to get paid and nothing.
And it never happened. They said to me, well, you're just a worker here. That would never happen. I was like, so what happened over there? You just told the guy that you were going to do that.
Well, technically they did. I'm sure they paid you your regular salary.
Right, exactly.
So you got paid.
Right. But I mean, when I'm the type of person, when somebody does that to me, it's not that I'm going to go after them. I'm going to go and prove them that they can do better.
Yeah.
So that kind of incited that. However, I did get pregnant.
Okay.
And I got married, I got pregnant, then I had twin boys. And I didn't pursue that at all, right? Because life just took a different route.
This was in 2011.
Yeah, so my boys, I got pregnant in 2011. So my boys were born in June of 2012.
Gotcha.
So it completely took me off. No risk that I wasn't thinking about it. And then Sandy happened.
Yeah.
Right. So we lost the house in Sandy. So a lot of stuff. And my kids were only 6 months old. So a lot of detours from what I originally wanted to do. But what really pushed me to get back to it in 2015, end of 2015, is because with all the expenses and losing the house, we were in $100,000 debt.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Yep. It was really bad. And it was hard times back then, and I was like, okay, what can I do? My kids are already at this point 3 years old. They can go to daycare.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to make some money. How do I do this? And I'm like, you know what? I remember I have license. I was like, let me give it a shot,
It was just like that. It was just like, let's try it.
Just like that, yeah. Because
crazy.
At that point, I didn't know what to do. I was so lost. And when you're in so much debt, like you have a lot of stuff happening in your head. Yeah. And I was like, let me just try. What's the worst? I'm not going to succeed.
Gotcha.
Big deal.
So who did you, I mean, we don't have to get into specific names or anything, but like how did you select who you joined?
Okay.
And like, what did you learn from them, or what did you also learn not to do? Like what bad, because it's a huge thing that a lot of people join a brokerage and it's like, you learn some good, but you also learn some bad stuff too.
Right. I mean, I take always the good part, right? And I did see a lot of negative, and which is why when I came up with my company, I said I will never make those mistakes. Well, at least I hope not to. So I joined the company because one of the mothers the kids were going to the same daycare back
Just
then.
like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She said that my husband works in this company. And I said, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Let me give him a call. And he's like, I called him up and he goes, just meet with my broker, see if it works, and we'll go from there. Just like I did. I came in, not knowing anything, not the splits, not what they offer.
Nothing.
Like literally nothing. I said, okay, where do I sign up? Let's go. And
It's like a dream agent. Put you on a 10-90 split.
I know.
You know?
No. I was at 50-50. Well, technically it was 75-25 because they had a very interesting...
And did they...
25 to me.
20... wow.
Yeah.
Did they generate leads for you?
No.
How did that work?
No, not at all. So they said, here's the phone. Good luck.
Nice.
Yep.
Thrown into the fire.
Honestly, I like that way, to be quite honest with you, because that just shows who can handle and who cannot.
Survival of the fittest type
Yep.
thing.
And
Yep.
I think partially what I know now is because of that, because I had to figure out a lot on my own. However, I've paid attention. I started to notice, okay, what's in the office? Who's making money? Who's not making money? Right? Because nobody's helping me. So let me figure out how do I do this? So I put myself next to the top producer in the back of him. Right. And I was just sitting there for a whole month and I was like, okay, what is he doing?
Yeah.
You know, and I was listening to him. And all I saw, he's doing cold calls. Back then it was November 2015. It was great. And I noticed that he had schedule for everything he was doing. So let's say he would come in at 9 o'clock, he will do it until 12 o'clock. And then, I mean, he was a top producer, so he had other appointments to go to.
Yeah. But he time block, you're saying?
Yeah. And nobody could bother him at that time. And it was hard for me because I never had to go after anything. I know maybe like old school, the father always said, you're a woman, you don't have to go after anything. Everything should be brought to you, right? Yeah, well, new thing. Because I was
Real
here.
estate's a different game.
Right. And plus I didn't have any family or friends here. So I came to this country on my own. So now it's time to hustle, right?
I want to pause actually.
Sure.
Can you dive into you coming into this country on your own? What was that like? Because I find it interesting, and don't get me wrong, I have a bias because I'm an immigrant too, and I'm all about, it's like Gary Vee says, immigrant mentality.
It does exist.
It does exist.
Yes, I do believe so because you have no choice. I think it's more coming from, it's not necessarily mentality, it's just because you have no choice, right? I think if you have a plan B, people always tend to feel more comfortable because they have the plan B.
Gotcha.
But when you don't have anything and you just have plan A, because
that's all you
can
focus on.
Right? So you have no choice but to succeed. That's just my vision.
And when did you move here?
I moved here in August 2006.
Wow. Okay.
15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I came here by myself.
From
Israel.
From Israel? Okay, I thought it was from Russia or Ukraine or something.
I was born in Russia, and then my parents immigrated to Israel, and I was the youngest employee in U.S. Embassy in Israel.
You worked at the U.S. Embassy?
Yes, I was in the consulate.
It's nonstop. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
because I spoke many languages. I speak 5 languages. So
That's a Russian, Hebrew, English. What else?
Spanish and Arabic.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So all these languages is what got me into the door. And back then I was going for Tel Aviv University. So it kind of mashed well all together.
Gotcha.
Right. So I was there and I was like, you know what? I can do more than that. And I was like, just decided to come. I was able to, thank God.
That's crazy. Like you say it nonchalantly, but that's like, let's just go to another country and see how it goes.
Because if somebody said to me, do it now, I would never do it, But I was 22 years old, I was stupid, I guess, and I was just...
Well, evidently not so stupid. It was a great decision.
Now, but back then it was a stupid move to come here. And I remember I was living in East Flatbush too, which was great. I got along with everybody. And...
Yes, your people.
Yep. No, I loved every moment of it. And it teaches you how to survive in life in general when you're by yourself, when you have nothing to fall on. But
the mental strength that you have to endure every single day and push to another level is something else I can't imagine.
Yeah, and I mean I didn't have the best experiences. For example, when I took twice public transportation, twice I got harassed, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. So I got to make money so I can have a car.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go through it.
Good old New York. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah. No, but all these things, I don't look at it as a negative thing. I actually, all my experiences, I gather them in a great thing, right? And I learn from that, and I know how not to do it, what to do it. And of course, every day I learn something new.
evidently.
Whoever says they know it all will
yeah,
slightly
exactly.
doubt
The
it.
very second you take your foot off the gas and you
Yes.
think you know everything, that's when you lose.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. It's the
Right.
worst. Like every single day, I try to approach this business as if I have 0 loans.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean,
Every day
I
wake
look at
up,
it like
got
that.
nothing.
I always welcome everybody else's opinions, and I generate my own opinion over that. But I think there's a saying that I don't know if in English it's the same. There's a reason why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you can hear more and talk
Yes.
less.
You told me that the other day. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So
going back to my business, so I started paying attention to him, and then I was so scared of cold calling. I can't even explain to you.
core reluctance and
because
fear
again,
of
I never
rejection
had
is
to
real.
really go get business,
Yeah.
you know, and all of a sudden go generate leads. What the hell is leads?
Yeah.
If people, I was like, oh, okay, what do I do with them?
So how did you get over that? You just basically went for it and
Yeah,
dealt with
but
it?
my husband, I came home and he goes to, because he was a stockbroker. So he goes, what's your problem? Like, just get on the phone. I'm like, well, it's easy for you to say. You're from here, you know, it's easier for you. He goes, just get on the phone. What's the worst they're going to do to you? Send you to hell like every other day? I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, that's probably it. And then I kind of started going from 100 calls to 200 calls. And then after 3 months, I was making between 1,000 to 1,500 calls a day.
That is insane.
And then I just didn't care.
And I imagine, well, actually, it wasn't that long ago. We're using, because, you know, these days everyone uses a dialer. Like, were you...
I didn't have dialer. So I had by hand. And it was so bad that my hands were so hurting, I would tape the phone to my head. Like
you didn't even have a headset?
No.
Holy shit. You're making 1,500 calls a day by hand.
Yeah, and everybody would make fun of me, but I didn't care.
Finger dexterity.
That's absolutely insane. Yeah, because the average person that I speak to in the business who cold calls, whether they're a realtor or they're a mortgage person, they make maybe 50 to 200 a day. You know, but they're not tremendously, you know, they're not crushing it. Some of them, you get some anomalies that are really good, but for the most part, because I think that says a lot, right? Because basically, in a week, 2 weeks, or what someone makes rather in a week or two in terms of call volume, you make in a day, right? So the way that I look at that, there's, I forget the name of the book, but it's the author is Malcolm Gladwell, and he talks about getting in your 10,000 hours, right? It takes 10,000 hours to truly master a skill.
Right.
Of course, you have to have intent behind it and keep getting better, all that stuff. But you're basically, instead of it taking 2 weeks, it takes you a day.
Right.
Right. So you're squeezing it into that time. So your ability to learn from your mistakes, you learn it 10 times quicker than everyone else.
And I had a schedule. I created a schedule for myself where I would show up in the morning, have a half an hour break to eat, and then go back till nighttime before I have to pick up my kids from daycare. Wow. So that's all I did, like legit all I did. And on weekends, I would do twice open house every day. So I would go run from one open house to another, you know, but I generated tremendous amount of leads. Insane. I made a lot of mistakes, insane mistakes that I would hang up and call back and apologize. Like crazy mistakes, you know, but again,
but most people don't even have the courtesy, Helen, to admit when they make a mistake.
Oh, listen, that's how you're going to learn, by admitting it first.
But it's not just that. I feel like our clients, when you make mistakes and we say, hey, I totally screwed this up, I'm sorry, that's what keeps your relationship legit.
Listen, I think if you're genuine to people and you say, listen, I am human, I made a mistake, but I will correct it. Yeah. I think it does it all, you know. That's why I, at this point, have such a relationship with all my clients that, I mean, I try not to make mistakes, don't get me wrong at this point. But again, I'm human. Things can happen. I can forget it. But I would call and say, listen, it's my fault. I apologize. I would like to correct it. And that's it. They like, Helen, not a problem.
Yeah, what are people going to say? Like,
no, but they
go to hell.
Right.
I don't because it's genuine.
Like, he'll tell you, he knows me a little bit. Like, I don't make excuses. Yeah. You know, there's no point of excuses. I think it's a lie, period. So I would feel terrible making that excuse. I don't need to. I'm an adult. I own it and then move on from it.
Yeah. And it's less stress on you.
The sincerity carries for miles, man. Especially when you're dealing with clients, and her personality, the way she approaches things, from what I can see so far, is like it's genuine. Yeah, she's your go-to and your best friend from the start of the whole like interaction, engagement, all the way to the end. But
I'm professional at the same time, where we're not too friendly.
Yeah, you know? It's like you can. Well, sometimes you got to slap people in a nice, polite, professional way.
I'd rather caress them so they don't feel
caress is a gentler way, and probably a superior way of saying it. So, I agree, but it's because at the end of the day, this business is about relationships and
it's all about
that.
that. People, I had recently somebody asked on Facebook, do we feel that real estate is sales or not? I said not, and everybody jumped on me that I have no idea what I'm talking about. And they said that you're probably 3 months in the business.
Your production says otherwise. So.
Right, but I don't see it as sales. I'll tell you why. I don't sell homes. Clients do. What my job is to provide them the people to buy them from and to make sure they go from A to Z with no stress. That's my job.
Gotcha.
Because if it was sales, I would be actually selling something.
Yeah.
And I don't. It's not my property that I'm selling.
Yeah.
I'm like a promoter of their property.
Yeah, you promote it and you connect.
Them. Yeah.
You connect and you advise, which is honestly it's a better way to, because language is important.
Yeah.
Right? Because the type of language that we use dictates how we approach something. So if you approach something as sales, right, like I'm just trying to sell someone a house, the goal isn't really to sell someone a house that makes sense for them, their goals, their family. It's just about selling the deal. Your approach is more encompassing of the entire vision, I'd say.
And I also think, well, people said to me also in that post, well, you selling your services. And I get what they're saying, where they're coming from, but if it was true to me, if I was to get paid up front.
Yeah.
But I only get paid if I actually close. So maybe that's why I don't see it as sales.
Yeah, it has sales aspects to it, but
I
but
get
it's
that
not.
part.
But the connotation is behind the word is different.
Right. I just view it differently. That's all it is. I'm not saying that real estate is not sales.
That it's important because again, it dictates everything. It dictates how you approach it, how you approach your relationship with the client as well, which is what leads to success.
Like I'll give you an example. A lot of times we do trainings, and most of the agents that I've had to come across with, they're all nervous to go in front of sellers. And I said, why don't you switch your mind a little bit? Instead of going to be interviewed, interview your client.
I like it.
All right, because you want to find out if you can even help them. And I always interview my clients, not because I feel I'm above them, not at all. That's not what I mean by that. What I mean is I want to see if I'm the right person for them.
Yeah, I think I'd like to elaborate on that a little bit because I know why you said it that way. Because people use the interview your client tactic as a manipulative tool to put yourself in a superior position to them. You're using it not to do that, but you're using it to basically not just qualify them and see if you're the right fit, but see basically if you can, like you said, you can actually help them. You want to make sure that not only they're a good client for you, but you're a good realtor for them.
Absolutely. Because if we don't mesh well from the beginning, it's really, most likely it's not going to be a good sale, period. You know, there's something that can go wrong. And I don't want to hurt nobody. That's not my goal here. And I just want to do my best, and that's it.
So I have to ask a kind of a tough question.
Sure.
Maybe not so tough, but I feel like it's easy to take that approach when you have, of course, the abundance mentality, but when you also have an abundance of business.
Right.
You know, for those people that are newer into the business, that they don't have that courage to do that because they don't have as much business as someone like you does, right? But was there like a point in time where you switched to that mentality, or was that kind of your approach the whole time?
So I had to switch it because, again, at the beginning, I was taught to always be closing, which I hate that sentence, right? Yeah. When it switched for me, when I wasn't getting, let's say if I would go on 10 appointments, I would get only 2. And I said, why am I getting only 2? I'm a very analytic person in general. If I'm failing in something, I need to find out what I'm doing
It's
wrong.
not efficient, right? A 20% close rate.
Right.
Gotcha.
And when I switched to that mentality, I started closing 7 to 8 out of 10. So I'm like, okay, I found the formula.
And did you find that? So this, I'm imagining, you're cold calling, expireds, FSBOs, whatever, and then you're going on appointments. So I assume that approach also changed in your dialing.
Yes. So I was focusing more on connecting with people rather than, hey, who can I sell today?
Yeah.
It was more about connecting more than anything. Because I wasn't focused on which fish I can catch today. I was focused on what relationship I can develop.
Yeah, which sounds corny to the average person, but
Maybe.
If you understand the weight behind what you're saying, it really counts.
Right.
It really means something.
I had a daily goal that I was hitting. I had to speak to 25 to 50 people who were okay for me to send my card to them.
Wow.
That was my goal.
I like that.
Yeah.
How would you do that?
1,500 calls a day.
Just through the calls. Oh, so you did it through the calls and did it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's insane.
And I did it. I had a major book like that of clients who said to me, maybe they didn't want to sell it right there and then. That's fine.
Yeah.
But they were at least open for me to introduce myself.
Yeah.
And that's all I cared for at that moment.
Freaking insane.
And my first 6 months after doing that, I picked my top 5 that told me they will consider selling, and I delivered them giant bouquets. Each one was $150 of edible arrangements.
Sweet.
I didn't take all of them. I only got one listing out of it, but that listing netted me $60,000.
But
so it was worth it.
It paid for it. Yeah. That's an investment. That's an investment in your business. So,
absolutely.
Speaking of that, that's something I would love for you to elaborate on, Helen. Is really, because I find, again, a lot of people in the business don't treat this as a business.
Right.
What I mean by that is they are afraid to invest, to spend money, whether it's lead generation, and amazingly the most beautiful office I've ever seen, which we'll get into as well. There must have been a point where your mind switched as well. So I'm assuming it was that point. You were like, I just spent $600, but I'm netting 60 grand.
Exactly.
It's worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no business that unless you put money into it will work. Bottom line. Yeah. I think real estate, right. I think real estate is the cheapest one out of all of them. Because all you have to do at the beginning is get your license, pay your MLS dues, maybe pay for the dialer nowadays, but it really is the cheapest way of starting it.
Yeah.
All you need is determination, consistency, and let's go. Right? So if you have that, with time you'll generate, and you have, like, what people not realizing, consistency is the key in this business, period. If one day you're going to do it and then the next week you're not going to do it, I mean, it's going to take you, I'm not saying you're not going to get there, but it's going to take you a very long time to get there.
So how do you stay consistent?
Just do it every day.
Just do it. Which is basically, it's just discipline.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like I always say, you want to go to the gym, get slim. You think it's going to happen if you went twice a year? No.
Yeah. Which is, it's such a simple thing, right? But like.
And I shouldn't be talking about slim because I'm far from that.
You look amazing. So what I find is, especially with like, with social media and like freaking hustle culture. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're guilty of it too. We have like art that's just like grind every day, but it's like, because like I see the whole like, and again, from everyone in the business, they're posting. It's good to post. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to hate, but like posting every day, I see it, like people posting rise and grind at 11:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like as opposed to actually getting your ass up in the morning and getting it done. But it's not about, because it's the motivation hustle culture.
Right.
And it's not motivation. It's discipline.
Right. The problem is, I feel like, all these motivational, excuse my language, crap.
Yeah.
It only goes too far. Unless you do it, no motivational quote would ever help you.
Yeah. Motivation gets you started.
Right.
Discipline keeps you going.
Absolutely. That's why Nike came up with Just Do It, and it's brilliant.
And
it really is.
And even that stock keeps growing.
Absolutely.
But it's not stopping.
I say the same thing in my office. I mean, I teach a lot. I put so much, because people need information and correct information from the beginning, right? In order to go get it. But I always say to them, I can give you so much, but I can't do it for you.
Yeah.
So unless you take that information, do something with it, it's worth nothing. Like legit nothing. And a lot of times people look at me like, oh, she's tough, she's that. But that's the business. I mean,
it's a tough business.
It's extremely tough business. People don't realize. It's not easy. I think it's extremely hard.
So let's talk about that. But in a good way,
I'm saying.
It's definitely, but so let's talk about your agents, right? Your team. Because I know that you have a process, right, of hiring. You don't just choose anyone, but I'm not saying that in a snobby way.
No,
right?
Not at all.
You're looking for a specific type of personality, and can you kind of dive into like what that is?
Absolutely. So for me, it's
why, why is key.
Okay, so I almost look at it as, people come to you and they give you a resume and it looks fantastic, but then you don't get along with them, right? It doesn't matter your resume. Yes. You can come to my office knowing nothing, and I'm completely okay with that. I'll give you the knowledge as long as you have the 3 things that I need. You have the personality that we like, that you have the consistency, and you really want to do this. You know what I mean? The rest can be taught. Knowledge could be taught.
Yeah.
What I cannot teach you is your personality.
When you say personality, what are you looking for?
Positive.
Upbeat. Okay,
no, it
positive.
doesn't have to be a beat or anything, but I need positive. Like for me, no offense to anybody, I just can't hear negativity all day long.
This business has its negative and stressful situations enough. We don't need it.
All right. I keep my personal problems at home. I don't bring them to the office, and I don't bring my office problems to my home. So I like to keep it that way.
Is that true, Mike? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My interview process went pretty similar to that.
Let's hear about it.
Oh boy.
I walked in. Are we allowed to curse on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris, you can always shout it out.
I was trying to be a good girl this whole time.
Yeah, really good bleeps.
Bleeps are fun.
Yeah, like a duck noise or something.
I like that.
So I walk in. I was referred to her through a good friend of mine. I walk into the office, and I've never been in a formal, suited, dressed office. So I sit in, and I'm trying.
It's very important for me to close. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, sit in, and I sit down. I'm like, hi, how are you doing? And she goes, sit. And I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm like, cool.
Slightly terrifying.
Cool. We're talking, and like, it's intimidating because it's the offices. The first time you go in there, you see it, you're just like,
it's incredible.
Okay, this is nuts. I don't know if I was expecting this. So I sit down, we're going through the process, and she's kind of interviewing me in the end, and I crack my finger, and she looks at me and she goes, "Don't crack your finger in here." And I'm like, what? She goes, I hate when people crack their fingers, and I'm like, okay.
No, don't do that. I don't know. You know when you have somebody goes with the chalk on the wall? That's so the cracking does that.
That's what it's like.
She buckles.
Okay, that's fair.
She buckles and it's reclusive.
Yeah, that's not like some stockbroker Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. Like, I hate that. Yeah.
No. It's just, I don't know what it does to my body. It just goes into shock.
So for me, I have like zero real tolerance for people who have like a facade on them, like, very business. And then like, she immediately was that way the whole way through the conversation. I'm sitting here, I'm like, real Wolf of Wall Street thing. I was like, I'll quit my job right now. I'll quit my job right now. Like after the 5-minute conversation with her, and she was like, explain to me, it's very lighthearted, explaining the whole process. Her thought process and her way of going about what she wants to build and like the actual roadmap and the pipeline she has in her head was enough to convince me, but it was the personality. And then in the middle of the interview, Amir, her husband, had walked in, somebody else had walked in to meet me. And I saw that the atmosphere was far from like a really tight-knit, sit at your desk and study, laugh and joke and coming and speaking to me, and just involved.
I like when people can be themselves. I don't want them to be pretending just because they're at work.
Yeah.
Because I believe that if you're fully yourself, you're a lot more productive. It's just
Agreed.
It's just my thing.
No, I understand why you say that, because if you are focused on like you're trying to be someone else, that is energy that you're using. You only have so much energy, so much willpower in a day, right? So it's like pretending to be someone else probably makes you 50% less efficient.
Exactly. But if you can be yourself and you're not worried about, oh my God, what they're gonna think of me, you're going to be most likely a lot more productive.
Yeah, it's a matter of efficiency,
right?
And production. It's not like some mumbo jumbo hippie kumbaya. It will make you better at your job.
Exactly, and that's what I want.
Her is that she really like kind of bounces off other people's energy. So
I do.
If like, and I'm the same way. So I'll come into her office and I see if she's quiet, I will open that door screaming and dancing.
Yeah.
And then that changes the whole mood. And that's how we go.
Get out.
Yeah. I was like, that changed the whole mood. Because like I have a relationship with her now and everybody there, and where it's very upbeat and everybody's pushing each other. If somebody's having, let's say someone makes it, people in our office are like, go for 1,000 calls a day. And if they're not, let's say they get 900 of them and their dial tones, answering machines or fax machines, that's going to hurt your kind of feelings.
Of course.
Someone will come up behind that person no matter what if they haven't spoken all day and try to lighten them up and make and make it a better atmosphere. Because
not why are you making your calls? It's like let's go, let's roll, let's have some fun.
This is why it's important for me that that I take people in based on their personalities, because if we can kind of be all like one, we're going to be a lot more successful.
Of course.
And if we see somebody struggling, whatever, we're like, oh, look, he's struggling. No, not at all. Hey, what are you struggling with? Can I help you?
Yeah.
And everybody in the office is like that. And that's what I like. And I want to keep that.
It's contagious.
Yes, very.
That energy. And it's hard to keep as you grow.
Of course.
So
there's only one person. Which is you.
Which is why you're selective one at a time, because you get a bad energy in there.
Plus,
toxic energy will tank an entire.
Yeah, we can't have that.
Not to mention, I'm huge on reputation. Yeah. Right? If I say something, I will never go back on my word, no matter what, because I feel like people respect your word if you're consistent with what you're saying.
Yes.
And if a broker cannot be consistent with their own word, your company most likely is gonna go to shit.
It's true.
You know, and I feel the fact that I am like that, people around me learning to be like that too. It's weird, but it's like almost a contagious way. They know that if they're gonna tell me something, they better keep that word.
Well, yeah, and they follow leadership.
Yeah. Yep. But I like it. I'm not doing it like, oh, let me make sure you're aware I'm the broker. You got to do it my way. No, not at all. It may sound like that, but it really not like that.
Yeah.
But they follow the lead. They know what they have to do. Everything is structured for them. And then we customize their structure as well. If it's not working for them, we'll figure out a different route. But we'll still figure that out, that structure.
I see. It's very interesting because the way that you approach it is different, right? Most people in the business that I speak to, it's the same action.
Of course.
In terms of
There's no secrets in success.
do your job, but the positivity, the culture, it has an absolutely tremendous impact.
Absolutely.
So
I believe that.
Something that you alluded to before, and I think we can have some fun with it, is the haters. You have quite a few. You can name names if you want to.
No, I'm not like that.
I'll go to the house, or I'll send your husband, whatever you need to do.
No.
But can you dive into like how it's affected you, if at all? I don't even think that it has. But like, what type of things do people say? What did they do? Because there's some maliciousness in the business.
Right. I mean, honestly, maybe it's just my personality. I take everything in and turn it into positivity. Yeah. It pushes me to do more, a lot more. Because obviously it's working. Because if I wasn't important enough, they wouldn't talk at all. Yeah. And that's how I look at it. Not to mention, I mean, I've opened up 7,500 square feet of super luxury office. Yeah. I mean, that's smack in their face. And especially in our area.
It's hard to compete with.
Right. So they're hating on me tremendously. Yeah. I've heard rumors saying how dare I was to open during the pandemic, that I don't care about people. And I was like, how's my construction?
You don't care about people, yet you're giving them jobs and paying money. So, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, again, everybody's going to see something negative. I get it. Other brokers are hating too. Again, I'm okay with that. I expected that. There's no such thing as success with no hate. Yeah. Right? I'm pretty sure Elon Musk doesn't care either.
I never realized how much of real estate was like a gang war.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I was in like jewelry, so for me, you just had the other jewelers and you just tried to one up them, but there was never like any, like there's divided lines, there's territories, and I don't
especially in Brooklyn, I imagine. It's got to be West.
I'm not in real estate, and I'll just be driving through or driving home, or we'll be going somewhere, and I'll see like a sign for another realtor. I'm just
lighter, fluid, burn it down, burn down the listing too. Well,
tell my fiance hold, and I have to pull off to the side and get out of the car with the baseball bat. Yeah, it's intense. It's not intense, but it's from my perspective at least, as not an agent, I see it, and I'm just like, there is some definitive lines there where like there is, you want the other one to fail, and from her perspective, it's just she doesn't. She does.
There's plenty of business to go around.
So I don't look at. I actually am telling. Every time I see other agencies posting their for sale signs and stuff like that, it bothers me. Don't get me wrong. I would be lying if I said it doesn't. But it's not bothering to the point where I'm hating them. No, I said, okay, what did they do to put it right here in front of my nose? What did I not do?
What did you not do? Right,
and I'm taking it more in as a lesson rather than hating them, because hating on people is a waste of time. I have no time for that. I rather figure out how I can do better than them, right? And that's all my focus is going for. That's why I have a certain standards in my office. They have to go through something called 90-day bootcamp. It goes every 30 days.
Let's dive into that. What does that entail?
Okay, so every 30 days they learn something new, because I feel that I don't remember the statistics, like 80% leave within the first 2 years. Yeah. And I feel like the reason they're leaving is because the brokerages are not giving them enough information from the beginning. They're not putting time into them. And I mean, I kind of get it why they're not doing it, because not everybody wants that time to be given to them either, right? They're not really into it. They're just, let me sell a house or two. I get that. But there's a lot of talent in that pool that is sometimes being missed because not enough information was given to them from the beginning. So I decided completely different. I'm giving you the 90 days to figure out if you're really into this or not, right? And every 30 days you have to basically pass the knowledge I'm giving you. You have to pass the test, right? Gotcha. Right? But it's not. It sounds like a test.
But it holds them accountable too.
Yes, it does.
And it gives them a goal.
Absolutely. So every 30 days they learn something new. And so far the feedback I'm getting is like, what I learned here in 90 days, it took me 5 years elsewhere. So that just shows you that that's the problem out there, period.
Because you have a plan, you have intent. And truth be told, it doesn't sound particularly complicated, convoluted. No. It's just, it's very simple. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine this didn't take forever to plan, did it? Was it a whole thing?
No, so I've been doing this 6 years, right? So I'm not that long in the business.
That's really funny. Yeah.
Right. But I am a person who loves to learn, right? So if I don't know something, I have to know it. I don't know. It's just an internal thing. Yeah. If I messed up, I have to figure out why I messed up. So I'm a constant learning. Till today, I teach myself daily, and because I know that I'm smart enough to say I don't know enough. You know what I mean? And in order also for me to provide that information to my agents, I have to know it, right? Got it. So I have to be constantly upbeat.
Because they're only as good as you.
Absolutely.
At the end of
the
day,
they're failing,
so you have
I'm
to keep
failing.
Growing, yeah.
Absolutely, and that's how I see it. I always say, like, I can have all the agents great, and something is wrong, it's my fault. Yep. That's how I see it. I don't see it on them.
Responsibility. Mm-hmm. It's different. It's interesting. It's all these small things. It's the leadership. It's taking action, owning it. There's another great book. It's called Extreme Ownership, and it's written by some Navy SEAL dude. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. And basically, the gist is that even if something isn't really your fault, taking ownership allows you to control the situation and do exactly what you're saying, which is grow from it and have the entire company grow from it as well.
Also, one of the ways I help the agent as well is I go on appointments with them.
Yeah.
Right. Because
cool.
Right. So because when you're a new agent, I mean, you're scared, you don't know what to say, and I don't want them to lose opportunities. So I kind of killed two birds at the same time. So they are learning how to do business and they're gaining the business. So they're not going to lose it.
Gotcha.
Because I remember my first time, I was sitting in front of a client and I was so nervous because I didn't know what the hell am I saying.
Of course.
I was choking on my own speech. He offered me water. I was like, you okay? I'm like, sure. Yeah. But when I left it, obviously I didn't get it. But when I left it, I promised myself to never feel like that again. And that's where my education kicked in. I had to learn.
Yeah. Because you basically spent all that time on the phone and you got the appointment, but
what did I do after that?
You what to say at the appointment.
Absolutely. Yeah. I choked a few times.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, you know what? No way.
Never again.
No. And that's why I want to prevent them from kind of going it. I want them to experience the right way from the beginning and also not to have an opportunity to lose that moment.
Gotcha. Okay. What I want to go back to is the office. The grand, amazing office. Yes. I always love an invitation from you guys. Even though it takes me an hour to get to you guys, I'm like,
okay, I came here.
Exactly. But I'm saying I get to hang out in this beautiful office. It's freaking amazing. What? Because that's a gamble, right? That's a risk. I imagine a lot of it, and correct me if I'm wrong here. To me, I just feel like that's your taste. You just have great taste, and you love design and
yes,
and all this stuff. So, was that what kind of led to it? Did you see it as an advantage? You just want to create a specific atmosphere?
So I wanted from two reasons. I wanted that because originally I was supposed to be on the first floor, and which is a lot smaller. There was 3,000 square feet there. I chose a 7,500 square feet and 2 floors and the roof and the yada yada. Right?
Juicy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I felt it will be more exclusive if we're on the top floor.
Yeah.
So the reason I did that, I put a lot of money into it. And the reason I did that is because I wanted the agents and clients to experience what real service is about.
Sweet.
What luxury, what a luxury feel is. That's why I wanted to provide the type of agents for those clients too. They have to look certain way, they have to speak certain way, they have to have knowledge certain way. And I just want everybody to have a different experience what real estate is about. Because I feel like service in general kind of died. And I want to bring it back, but to a different level.
In what way do you feel that it died?
What way? I don't feel like people care anymore about people like they used to. About customer service. They care about the money.
Of course.
Only. And I think it's wrong because if you just focus on money, you never make it. If you focus on relationship, you'll always make it.
That's a great soundbite. I have to bookmark that and repeat it every day because it's extremely true, right? It's like if you talk about all the greats, whoever you talk about, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, whoever it is, it's like they're focused on the product, not the outcome of the money.
Right, money comes. It's the byproduct of your work.
Yeah, which is hard to focus on because to be fair, right? New York is a very expensive place to live. Correct. The majority of the people in not majority, but a substantial portion, people are living in the 5 boroughs, Long Island, Westchester, they're living paycheck to paycheck, right? It's difficult. So like what would you say to a new agent that basically really needs money? Like how do you shift their mindset from just making money to helping them create an exceptional service for their customer? It might be something simple, but it's hard.
Well, I teach them that first.
Gotcha.
Right? So it's like the military. They come in, I break them, and I don't mean it physically, and then I build
Drago goes with the accent. I
Just over the
I
knee.
don't, but I'm saying I break the mentality of don't focus on money. Let's focus on building your relationship.
Yeah.
How you
So you hammer them with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like an unlearning.
So it's like
in a
breaking
way.
it, but then I'm building them up.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it's important. They have to stay. And I always say to stop counting your money. They already counted money before they even close. I say you can't do that. You can't do that. And everybody's guilty. I was guilty of it. I was doing it. Right. So I can't say, look, I'm this Miss Goody Shoes and I didn't think like that. Of course I did. Yeah. At this point, I don't look at it at all.
Yeah.
You know, because I learned over the years, first of all, you have to make sure you see it in the bank before you celebrate, right?
Of course, yeah. The deal's not closed until it closes.
Exactly. But I at this point, I don't look at money at all. I know it comes. It's there. The computer will show me gladly if I need to.
Of course.
But what I focus is, okay, we help this person. We make sure that they settled. And even when they have to relocate, we settle them there. And then we move on to the next thing.
Efficient. Efficient and a good way to approach it. All right, so back to the office.
Yep.
How did you, because it's like one of my favorite things is like that big square desk. I
that
absolutely,
26-seat desk.
Yeah, like how did you even like find that? Like what?
So it's custom.
What do you, okay.
It's a custom table, and it's funny you mentioned square. There's a reason behind it. So I never wanted somebody to feel above anyone else. Right. So even though I'm a broker, I don't want everyone else to feel I'm above them. Gotcha. Right. That's why there is no head of the table. It's a square. Everybody's equal to me.
That's cute and important too.
Yep.
Plus, it's a sick table. I mean, this is just freaking amazing.
Yeah, it's very expensive too.
Yeah. It's so you made the investment in the office, and it's
a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's I won't ask you how much. I also don't want to know. But it's paying off. You're attracting the right people, and the customers love it.
I actually had somebody say to me, "Well, with the new way of doing business, people don't really need an office." I disagree with that. I completely disagree with that because everybody so far that came in is like, oh, thank God there's an office. I can't wait to be part of an environment. Yeah. Because, I mean, home is great. But to me, and I could be wrong for someone else, I cannot work from home. Shit. Yeah. Like, I can't. I need to dress up. Yeah. I need to put my makeup. I need to do my hair. And I need to be ready. It's a different atmosphere, right? My mind works different. At home, my kid, my dog, my mom, somebody is pulling me to different, or some TV show. Yeah. But
keeping up with the Kardashians.
No, not that far. But what I'm saying is that there's always something. Yeah. So when you come to work, there's an atmosphere of everybody's working, you're part of it, we're doing things, we're learning things. And to me, it's just important. Not to mention our clients. So I adapted a new strategy. Instead of just going to their properties, first we invite them in.
Oh, okay.
It's like a business card. Yeah. When they see an office like ours, they go, "Oh my God, Becky." No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna.
I could have said some fun stuff there, but I won't. No, yeah. Plus the mirrors outside. So yeah, we'll keep that. But that is important because it sets the tone. If you make that investment into your office, into your culture, it is a business card. It says something about you and your company without saying it.
I had a big developer who actually met with us, who saw us on social media, and then he did some research about us. He did show up in my office. We had a meeting, and he said to me, he looked at my office. He goes, "First of all, I just love your office, and this is the type of an office I want to represent in me." And he liked what I had to say, and it just clicked. And it was like, from now on, I would like to sign paperwork for exclusivity that you will be the only one representing me.
Boom.
So I'm like, okay.
Mic drop.
I was like, I don't want to do that. No,
but it's small. I mean, it's not small because the investment was large, but it's the things that communicate without you saying it. And the same thing, like you said before, you have to dress professionally.
It's a code in my office. Yeah. You can't walk in with flip-flops. It's not gonna happen. Yeah. And they know it.
As it should be.
No, because clients could be in there, and you can even pop in for 2 minutes. So they have to call their reception, and they have to bring them their paperwork if they're in flip-flops. Like, you can't walk in there.
That's a good I think that's freaking amazing.
And I'm going to keep
again,
it that way.
it sets the tone.
Absolutely. That's a professional office, and people need to realize that.
What's the... This maybe I'm inspired by Devil Wears Prada, but basically...
It's so funny. They wanted to do a video of me, but although I don't act like that, but they wanted to do that
whole
video.
scattering
That's the next one.
Yeah, that's what
I could be
wanted.
like Helen, be like moving at a glacial pace, whatever. I love that line. It's such a
But
great
I said
line.
to them, I mean, people already see me and they think I'm very intimidating, and I'm so not. Like, I'm a nice person and very easygoing, but I guess my persona when I walk on the street, it was like, oh, don't talk to Helen. I was like, why not? I'm a nice person.
Yeah, you are. You're a great person.
That's what I'm saying.
Chill.
But like the first initial look at me, and they're like, oh.
Well, people don't. Yeah. Well,
It's like I'm some kind of devil.
get to know her.
Yeah, that's
She's
right.
great.
That's right.
She's great.
What's happening?
But the point that I was getting to is that what you wear, whether it's like trendy fashion, professional, or dressed down, it communicates something about you.
Absolutely.
You know, if you show up to work in sweats and a t-shirt, there's nothing wrong with it, right? Maybe in your office, no, right? There is something wrong with it. But I'm saying, but there are plenty of people, successful people, who wear sweats every day
Sure,
or
absolutely.
chilling.
Yeah.
And,
But
and
they're
it's
not.
fine.
Depends what type of. If you're already successful, yeah,
You're established.
You're established. You don't have to do it. People already know
course.
who you are. But if you just started and you're walking in like that,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
have
but-
to you have to communicate who you are. But I'm
Absolutely.
saying even like dressing down communicates that you're a more of a laid back person. Like so something that I do is very simple because I'm, you know, kind of the same. People look at me like I'm not the most welcoming person in the world. I purposely dress in brighter colors because I know that my body language isn't the most welcoming. So I combat that with dressing nicely or dressing in nicer colors that make people feel
works.
welcome. It
Absolutely.
works, yeah. It's
Absolutely.
like you could call it a compensator, but it works. So like it goes a long way, and it embodies, you know, the challenger brokers.
Who says
culture.
you're not welcoming?
I don't know.
has ever said-
I guess I feel because I'm more introverted, so I find that for me it helps myself
I'm the same
open
way
up
as
in
well.
addition to other people. It reels them in.
Okay.
But I think in general, people are very judgmental today because
Yes.
they see a picture of you or they see a video of you. It's automatic judgment.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand where it's coming from. Do I think it's wrong? Yes, but I get it. I get where
That's
they're coming
life, and it's we'll dive. It's a good segue.
from. You can't make
to,
everybody happy.
Is talking about you'll never make everyone happy, especially in our business.
Yep.
Is let's talk about social.
That's my lovely man right here.
Yeah, because your social game is off the freaking charts.
Right.
It's really impressive. It's and it's fun. It's fun. Like to me, like when I see your stuff, I don't feel like you're trying to sell me something.
I don't see the point of doing that. I want people to get to know us.
Yeah, that's
Elaborate on that, please.
That's essentially
That's
what it
so
is.
key.
That was one of the reasons why we took Mike in, because first I wanted
You
to
took
step-
him off the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were
I mean,
about to
don't
put him
look at him.
down.
Don't look at he looks nice now.
I walked in with every ounce of dress clothing I had on, and Helen was just like a week
I'm like,
later. She
no.
goes, "We're gonna go shopping." I'm like, "Okay."
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Let's go.
I'm like, I
So,
know you're not an agent, but you represent me. No, we gotta go
You gotta
shopping.
dress up, and you are dressed extremely sharp, Mike.
Thank you.
I love the pants, man.
Thank you. This was
That's his
a good thought
personality.
process last
Yeah.
night. I looked at my fiance. I'm like, "Baby, I gotta wear something that doesn't look like I'm homeless tomorrow."
Girlfriend approved.
Yeah,
Fiance
exactly.
approved.
That's where
That's
it
what
is.
counts. I do the same thing.
But one of the reasons we took him in is because, all he does is social media and promotions and everything for each agent. So I took it to a little bit different level. So it's not just for the company, like most companies do for the company to promote,
Yeah.
which they're doing the right thing. I decided to do it per agent.
Love it.
So he gets to know agents on a personal level, right? He wants to know what their hobbies are, what do they like, and he creates them online because agents are already busy
Yeah.
working. They can't do everything.
Nope.
There's only so much time in the day. That's where he comes in. And I actually want him to explain what he does.
Yeah. So you're basically, and you'll dive into it, Mike. But the way that I describe it is that you're kind of approaching it like a media company, like
Yes.
a PR company in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about that a little bit? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
It's interesting, right? So when she had brought me on originally, it was just going to be social media, and we were going to look into just building profile for Challenger. And then she also mentioned that she wanted me to create some kind of, system for the agents as well. Because if you look in today's market, like a lot of agencies and brokerages use templates. and they create just a template system for their agents to copy and paste, and it doesn't feel genuine.
Right. And they just use it, put their face on it now.
So like for us, I don't, I'm on hashtags commonly because I'm trying to engage and I'm trying to kind of like get our reach out there.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
He's
that's
learning
cool.
what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah. So like aside from this point, every day I spend at least 2.5 hours on hashtags that are relevant to our business.
Damn.
And I'm finding agents all across the country. Doesn't that New York related? Some of the best, most engaging people we work with and businesses that we've worked with now are Michigan, Canada.
Florida.
I have a
Florida's huge.
I have Florida developers signing up to our websites.
I saw.
Yeah.
I saw Camille, right? She booked the deal, or she has a relationship.
They
wonderful
want us to
property in
represent them on
Pinecrest.
this side here,
Yeah, so we're getting reached out to by people all across the country. And that's what we're looking to build. And we're looking to build relationships across the country because it's not just New York. And as much as you want to branch out.
I'm sorry to cut you off for 1 second. We want to be one day all over the country.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So it's not just New York we're focusing on. My goal is to have challenger brokers everywhere in the country.
Yeah. Do you think that vision, and correct me again if I'm wrong, is that, because to me, when I look at you guys, you're mostly a luxury brokerage.
Correct.
Right? Do you want to keep it luxury? Do you want to dial up? Do you want to dial down?
But what's funny? Even though we look very luxury, I would never refuse somebody who, let's say, sells a co-op. Yeah. That's ridiculous. I would never do that. So although we look luxury, we don't compromise our services just because it's a lower price.
I love that.
They will receive still luxury treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's the luxury service we provide.
That's more than
that's so key.
Yeah,
that is so freaking key.
Luxury property.
Yeah. So the same person that's selling a co-op for $250,000, $450,000, they're getting a luxury experience.
Absolutely.
Got it. Sorry, please.
Everybody we deal with client-wise, it's a curated system for their sale. Not every home is going to be sold the same. Like the actual process, whether you're targeting, somebody who has a $400,000 condo, we find the way to target them specifically.
I'm not going to share that.
You got to
we target it specifically to, work towards them.
Yeah.
And, essentially that's what we're building profiles for our agents as well, right? So everybody comes to me and we create this little imaginary avatar. Okay, what are you into? Are you into fishing? Are you into skiing? Are you into cars? Are you into luxury? Dogs? We create a profile for you.
Everyone
Stuff that
dogs.
Everybody loves dogs. Everybody loves dogs. We don't have enough dogs on our Instagrams. So whatever their interests are, we create a system for them that works. You can't post real estate every single day. If you're an agent. For us, we have to, that's a separate story. But as an agent, you can't post real estate every day. Your followers who are your friends, eventually they don't care anymore about your real estate. They want to still know you. Yeah. And that's why everything that we do shows a face. Everything that we do, if it's a property or listing, it's not a carbon copy template of sold, in contract, new listing.
I still do that, don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing that part, but I'm not really focused just on that.
Yeah.
There's definitely, it's definitely part of the bundle that we create with them, but we want to still be them. You're creating a personal brand for somebody. I'm not just using you as another page to take the stuff that I'm posting and put it onto your page.
So basically, Mike, you have a process without revealing too much of the secrets of like how to blend an agent's own personality, their own individualism, if you would, and then creating an approach to social media and marketing around that. Is that
he
correct?
Comes with ideas to them. They come to idea. They bring.
They still have full control of their page. Everybody will come
Mike,
to me.
TikTok time.
That's exactly it. I swear, it's like, hey guys, we need a new idea.
Yeah. It's literally what it is, And for anybody, they have full control of their page.
Too.
It is fun. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Like even this, like we're working right now, right? But we're just having a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just fun.
But I think what it does also, the reason he's also there, again, I'm going to go back to agents have to work. They can't just sit there all day long on the phone. We're doing enough, right? So he knows who they are. So it's like him becoming them and their interact, but he's not answering for them. They still have to do that. If somebody is engaging with them, they have, because he doesn't know how they speak.
Well, also people exactly. If they like, if it's your friend that's commenting and you say like a word that person usually they pick up on it in a second.
That's what I'm saying. So we don't do that. However, we do create, again, like you said, an avatar as if it's them. Yeah. But the speaking, the actual interaction is them.
It's still genuine. It's still genuine. They still have full control of their page. I'm essentially just creating the content based on what I believe, what they believe. We want to make sure it's curated, make sure it's correct.
But you're not posting it without them looking at it.
Oh no,
they have to approve it.
exactly.
Yeah, it's still
They
their
have to
Instagram.
approve
So
page.
it's basically it's them. It is them.
Anybody
it's not,
anybody that comes into the office is immediately given the service of a social media private manager.
Yeah.
It's gangster.
But it helps them because then you can utilize two worlds at the same time.
Yeah, it's an entire.
What do you mean by two?
Two worlds, so they have their actual self going to appointments.
Gotcha,
and
and
then
the
they
social.
have themselves on social media.
Yeah.
So it's working simultaneously.
We said it in the video we did. We'll talk about that too. Is that like social media is just to me the way I look at it, it's a giant networking event that doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's 24/7.
And nowadays, if you're not on social media, most likely it's either you've been very long in the business, people know you from that, or they just don't know you.
Yeah, which is a mistake.
Absolutely.
Because you can use social media. It's like you alluded to it before, Helen, like a business card, right? And the office is, but your social media is as well. And you want to make it easy for people to contact you or to reach you, to find you. If they Google you, social media has amazing SEO, right? If they're Googling your name,
boom.
boom.
I have a lot of referrals from social media.
Yeah, we're giving them leverage, essentially. We want them to have the leverage to engage with these clients, potential clients, even other agents for referrals, anything. Anytime somebody engages with one of our agents on social media, we won.
Yeah.
You know, that's a win on the day. You have to think of it like I work similar to her with analytics. I come from e-commerce, so everything is conversion. Conversion, impression, everything like that. You know, we work based on that. How many people saw the page? How many people commented? How many people engaged with you privately? Did you get a deal out of it? Did you get a potential lead out of it?
So
you're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah. It's a science.
Yeah.
It's a website.
We have to know what works.
Yeah.
If we're doing something that's not working, why would we continue doing that?
That's a good point.
How long have I been with us?
Since September.
September.
That's not long.
That's not long. No. So for the first month, I tested
He
everybody.
tripled our followers.
Yeah, triple it. And individually, agent-wise, I think overall, encompassing all of our agents, I think we're a few thousand up in followers. Universally with everybody.
And we have just on Facebook monthly, because we get reports, about 50,000 views.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
So it's not. I mean, it's not millions. I get it, but we just
50,000 is a shit ton.
But we just started that too.
Yeah.
So
You're in the early stages of it.
It's a real estate. People have to realize. More people are, if you have a Ben Lavender Instagram page, people will be more inclined to follow your Ben Lavender page than they'll be inclined to follow Ben Lavender's mortgage company. You know, their person is what they want.
So speaking of that, like I have a Facebook business page, but to me, the purpose of the business page isn't really to convert, right? The point is like basically when someone Googles me, it'll come up and it shows that the business is still active. Like nothing is worse than when you Google a realtor or a loan officer and you see their most recent post was from 4 years ago. Because it communicates that you don't take your business seriously.
100%.
Right? Whereas if it's active, they see it. So it's like, I always find it funny and also idiotic when people create separate pages for their personal and their business.
And then never follow through.
Well, yes, it never followed through, but also like people aren't going to follow both your personal and your business. And as you said before, you want to blend the two together to mix up the content. A great example I'll give is like one of my biggest competitors who I'm happy to say this on camera, and I will do anything in my power to outright them, destroy them, whatever the case may be, is Quicken Loans. Right? Quicken Loans, Rocket Mortgage. Yeah, you probably thought I was going to talk about the smaller guys locally, which, truth be told, I don't even consider you competition. So my competition is Quicken Loans, right? So Rocket Mortgage. So if you look at Rocket Mortgage, who is arguably, they're probably the biggest mortgage company in the entire country, they only have 19,000 followers, right? When you think about
who? No, I'm just kidding.
Right, but there's something to be said about that because who the hell wants to follow a mortgage company? Right? They don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, they want to follow a person. Right. So you're saying mix it together, create content around both.
Yeah.
Great example. I don't know if either of you follow at all. Twitter. Twitter's an example of it. Even Instagram. Slim Jim, Wendy's. They're in comment sections, posts, everything like it's somebody who's literally, it's somebody's page. It's like they sold it to a 12-year-old, and it is the funniest thing on the planet. I look for Slim Jim's comments when they comment. Like on Instagram, it's genius.
They're hilarious.
They're hilarious. But the fact is that they're getting their name out there as a person. There was a study recently that like it's completely shifted. People don't want the corporate professionalism idea anymore because it feels unapproachable. I'm building for us a personable brand.
Yeah.
A brand that people can feel attached to. I'm trying to highlight the lifestyle that the agents are enjoying, the agents are living, what it's bringing to their life. And I want that to be something people can look to and go, oh, wow, that's interesting. Like for us in real estate, if you go on the hashtags, it's very difficult. Like I can scroll through hashtags and pull up my phone right now, and the top 50 posts will be a carbon copy cutout picture of the same picture from everybody from the same agency that was like, okay, everybody post now.
Yeah.
And I go swipe, continue. And then I have to use my thumb 20 times to scroll past all of it. I want somebody to see a picture of one of our agents happy. See a picture of one of our agents
I didn't know people did that. That's good to know.
It's a very interesting thing. Yeah.
Again, his job is to learn what works, what doesn't work, what people are doing, what it's not working for them too. So that's all he does all day. He's there all day.
This you're split testing in a way. Non-stop.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And then what's great is I have 12 accounts to split test with, so I know.
Yeah.
So I have too many splits.
And then if something doesn't work, I hear him yelling from the room, taking this shit down, taking this shit down.
I posted the other day, because it's all about time too, right? So for us, I have found the correct morning time, the correct afternoon time, and then I want to post sometimes 3 times a day because
it does work.
Sometimes it's a reel, sometimes it's a post, sometimes a video, whatever it may be.
There's variety in what you're posting.
Yeah, variety in what I'm posting based on the content. So I'm like, I can't figure out the nighttime post because really the majority of our followers are agents, right?
Got it.
So I can't find. Well, and clients, but we get a lot of engagement through agents. So I'm like, okay, what's the right time to post? 5:45, 6 o'clock, 6:45. I've been posting, trying around that time. I go into the room, it's like 6:15. I'm like, I posted this 10 minutes ago and I got 5 likes. I'm taking it down. She goes, don't take it down. I was like, I'm taking it down.
That's all I hear is like, you go, shit. I'm taking it out. It's not working. I'm like, it's been 5 minutes.
Well,
hold on.
Yes, but you do get the most engagement typically in the first 5 minutes. To now,
exactly,
right?
exactly. So and with reels and stuff too, being what it is, like we've taken advantage of that in that sense where we're having
taken tremendous advantage of reels and TikTok.
Yeah.
Let's talk because I
sat on a dog bed.
Yeah, I love your social stuff, man.
I made him do that.
Yeah.
It's full.
Wait, which
dog
thing?
bed.
I didn't see the dog.
So there's I'm not a big this is an odd circumstance. I'm not a big being on camera person, and since I've joined this job, I've been on camera multiple times.
I told you have no choice.
So she's like, I have an idea, and she comes to me and she shows me a TikTok, and she's like, here's the audio. I want you to sit on the dog bed and act like you're meditating. And I'm like, Helen, she's like, you're doing it. I'm like, okay. So I do it. And we're sitting there, we're watching it, and
you go boom, boom.
I watch it, I put it down. I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go, whatever. So I put it down, I pick the phone back up, and I refresh it. It's at like 800 views in like 5 minutes, and I'm like, Helen. And she's like, what? And I get up and walk and refresh it, 1,600 views, refresh it, 2,400 views.
Within seconds.
Yeah, in seconds.
What's happening?
We had another one where there's a college football coach that comes into
25,000.
Yeah, college football.
I know which one you're referring to.
Yeah, it comes into the room and whatever, and she's like, I don't know about that. I was like, trust me,
post
it, 24,000 views.
Within seconds.
Yeah, within which is cool because it becomes addicting at that point.
Yeah.
And I have agents too. I have one of the agents in the office. He's kind of doing the dad joke side of things. Yeah. 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 views. He's gaining awesome. 80 followers a post.
I'm actually having 2 new agents joining us. They have per post 2 million, 500,000 views all the time.
Yeah.
Holy
shit. So they're joining with us.
Which is great. Like she said, because those 2 million views, she posts something and she's per post.
Yeah, that's not normal. That's crazy.
And they're joining us and it's like, I know how to do it. We're gonna do it this way. I'm like,
yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, you're gonna amplify.
Yeah, 100%.
To exponential amplify, whatever. It's gonna be insane. So let's talk about like how do you approach it? Like your TikToks, your reels, like you see an idea and you're like, boom, let's give this a shot.
Oh, let me do this one. Okay. So my morning comes in, I have a post that I want to do, whether it be whatever it is. Today I think I posted like a selling point about our business. I'm trying to attract agents. And then we also posted the property video of the Miami property that we have that we got engaged with. So we wanted to post a nice video of that. And then sort of towards around 3:13, 3:14, Helen in the other room will go, I have an idea. And I'm like, and I don't know if she's talking to me, but I'm assuming it's me involved. It involves me on footage. So I'm
Mind
just
you,
like,
it's a big office, so it's echoes.
yeah, it goes.
Everybody hears it.
So I'm just like, oh man, I don't know if this idea is for me or not. And then I see her coming over to me in the office, and I'm like, and I'm getting on camera. So I'm like, what's up? And then it turns into a reel eventually. And with the other guys, I have one of the agents.
I would come to them, it was like, you, let's go.
Yeah. Points, let's go. Yeah, it's done.
They're like, what are we doing? It's like, doesn't matter, let's go.
Sit down, stand here, act like you're watching.
Did you see where we were smacking our butts and Gia was passing by with the
fake
balloons?
tuba? Yeah.
No.
You need to, because this is hysterical.
Yeah.
It will just pop in my head.
That was a TikTok reel?
Yep.
Yeah.
It will pop in my head, and let's go do it. Because if I'm not going to do it at that moment, I'm going to forget about it.
So what's obviously, I mean, the success is there. It's working.
Yeah.
We still have a long road.
You're going to continue. You're going to take it to the next level.
Best.
But something that you said before, Helen, it's simple, but it's like you're not selling, right? You're just making fun content so people can get to know you.
Absolutely. I think it's important. Once people get to know you, they will determine whether they want to do business with you or not. Yeah. So it's kind of doing the work for me.
Yeah. So it's a indirect conversion tool.
Yep. So by the time they are calling me or asking me to come over, they already sort of know what they're getting, and then just my knowledge just seals the deal. And
closing them ultimately is much easier, more efficient, because you don't have to sell them on you because they already know you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it kind of does the work for me, but then they don't know the knowledge I have, right? So that's when I lock it in with knowledge.
Got it.
And I believe in sincerity. I believe it's straightforward. A lot of times if I see they don't like what I have to tell them, then it's not the right client for me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell you dreams.
Because some people aren't realistic.
Exactly.
I remember, I won't say the specific one, but you tell me the other week there was a client that wanted to list their property like 12 million or something, and it wouldn't sell for anything over 9, and
I wouldn't waste their time. I don't want to do that to them. And I said, I'm not the type of broker for you. I will end up hurting you, and I don't want to do that to my clients.
Yeah. Doing the right thing, which a lot of agents will not do.
Exactly, but I don't want to.
They'll take the listing no matter what. Yeah,
exactly, but I don't want to get.
Well, because then when it's on the market for 6-7 months, and then people see that,
and it's funny.
That says a lot
I've
too.
noticed also sellers, when it's time for the agents to come to the seller and they say to them, "Well, we need to lower the price." The sellers get pissed off, and they say, "Well, you took it, so why'd you take it if you knew it's going to be high? Why are you now chiseling me down to go down in price?" So I don't want to.
Bad customer experience, no referrals, or potentially losing the listing.
Don't get me wrong. If a property is, I'm just throwing numbers, or they're asking me to overprice it by $100,000, I tell them, listen, it's not a good idea. If we see that the market is reacting bad, let's reduce it within 30 days. Are you open to that? Yeah. If they say yes, I make them sign that they agree to that.
I love that. I freaking love that.
Because then I'll be like, hey, look over here.
You sign that.
We had an agreement to that.
Yeah. Yep. And it holds them accountable.
Yep.
Yeah,
and they can't go back on their word, really.
Yeah. Yeah, because people will have that conversation, then magically it never happened, right? Putting it on paper is...
I have learned enough.
Yeah. And you don't have the fear of losing the sale, right? Because it's the right thing to do. It will make you more efficient.
Than hurt my client, because what people are not realizing that they are hurting their clients. The longer it sits on the market, the more... Buyers are educated nowadays. It's very easy to see what it was listed for, how long it sat on the market. So they see that and they use it against the seller. So even though once you are properly priced, they'll still fight with you on the number because they saw that you're willing to go down.
Agreed.
So I'm not okay with doing that to my clients.
Yeah, it's a more efficient and refined process.
And a lot of times I would be sometimes the third agents that would call me. I was like, now you want me to undo all of that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good, but I'm not a magician. I just straight up tell them like that.
But you're honest with them.
Yeah. I said,
which again, it's hard, Helen, these are like, again, you say it very nonchalantly, like it's easy, but for the average agent, it is difficult to say these things because it takes balls.
But the problem is it's very easy. Yeah. People don't realize that. We as agents make it hard.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because it's up here the wrong way from the beginning.
Very well said.
But I understand also where they're coming from, because when you work and you try and you you finally get something. You're trying to hold on to it because it took you so long to get it. So
you'll do anything,
Yeah, but it's such a bad mistake to do it that way.
Yeah, you're better off doing the right thing from the very beginning and building a business. It might take a little bit more time.
And it's okay.
Because you're not just taking everything.
Absolutely.
But you build.
That's what I do. And he's here to actually say that. I teach my guys. I said, I'd rather you walk away than take it and hurt your client. But one thing you're going to keep is your reputation.
Yeah.
And that takes years to build and one day to lose. And I'm not okay with that.
Very true.
You know, so.
And they're representing challenger brokers.
Exactly.
And
I worked very hard on that.
Yeah, evidently. Okay, more back to social. Was there anything that we missed that you'd like to touch on?
We're crazy.
Yeah.
But I think we know that.
Crazy good. Crazy in a fun way.
Yeah.
People like crazy. No one likes boring.
No.
I think humor helps in general.
Yeah.
Especially, I think everything that happened recently with everybody being home and frustrated.
They need it.
I think so. And I think New York in general is a really uptight period. Maybe because I'm not from here, so I see it. But I think it got worse.
Yes.
You know, so I think one of the reasons why TikTok did so well, people were home.
It blew up during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And
it's just a way for people to absorb. You can just absorb so much content now. I can sit on TikTok for 4 hours.
Same, and I'm guilty of it too, man. It's bad.
It's bad. You can run through ideas for days.
But it gives us also, we're looking at that and we're laughing and we're seeing something positive because there's so much negative happening.
But also it humanizes you.
Of course.
Because the average person, right, is that you're in your pimped out office, you're all dressed to the night, you look incredible. For the average person to reach out to you cold, they're like, some people, you know, believe it or not, they're shy, right? Sure. They'll be like, I don't want to, you know, I'm scared this person's going to run circles around me. So it's cool because like the purpose of my social media stuff, it's actually identical to yours, right? It's because I'm the boring mortgage guy in a suit, but when you make a fun well,
I don't see it like that.
Yeah, well, thank you. But the purpose is from the customer's perspective is right. How do I make myself more approachable?
Right.
And that is what the TikTok, it humanizes you. It makes them feel comfortable. Helen's she's a person. Sure, she's a successful broker.
But inside, I'm still human, and
that's the biggest
blood
thing.
still runs through me.
Exactly. But people are more inclined to reach out. That is the magic of it. Because and I make a point of saying this because a lot of people in the business treat social as like, oh, it's not the best lead generation tool, but it does so much more than generate leads.
I'll tell you more than that. We had an event in Brooklyn, and my guys would just roam around the streets because it was on the street, and random people would stop. It was like, oh, I know you. I've seen you on social media. You're all over. You're that successful real estate guy. Yep. And he calls me up. He goes, Helen, you're not gonna believe what had just happened to me. I was like, what happened to you? You know, do I need to call 911? He's like, no, not like that. I was like, what happened? So he's like, people that randomly run into me and saying that they know me. But I'm like, didn't I tell you social media works?
It's massive.
You know, and now that they're all about it, they're all over TikTok, they're shaking that ass. But
and you have, because everyone's cool and you have a good culture.
Yes.
Everyone is comfortable being, even.
I mean, not at the beginning. It takes them time. Even myself. I mean, I do some stupid shit. But even myself, I was like, I don't know, you know, especially after I had my kids, I gained weight. I was like, aren't they going to laugh at me? Because I was a fitness chick, so I was in top shape before. And I kind of had to break my shell too. I said, listen, I'm a mom. I run a business. Okay, so maybe not perfect. I get it. But it takes time for people. But I think once they do it,
it opens up.
Not everybody's going to dance on a table. You have to come to reality. Yeah, just Helen. That's it. But that's the thing. Like, not everybody will dance on a table. But you have to adapt social to work for you at that point. Okay, I'm not going to generate content that's going to be me dancing on the table or me singing or me running around. It's going to have to be content that's heartfelt at that point. And then in that way, you have to make up for that lack of exposure that kind of humor gives you. You have to be in that sense, have a hobby that's something you're passionate about alongside with real estate. You have to be engaging in that sense. You have to compensate with it.
And again, it humanizes them.
Yeah, it's 100%. My biggest thing is, we were talking about it in the car earlier, you have to be able to be approachable in real estate, and especially on Instagram. If you're, like you said, if you're a luxury company, if you pull up if let's say you look at I can't DM Tesla and have Tesla respond to me. I plan on being a company who has that many followers where if you DM me, I'm going to respond to you immediately.
And we're going to do it all.
I'm the same way. I have people DM us all the time, like you said, from all over the country. And that's what's cool, is that you begin to build these relationships with across the country, with locals, with Brooklyn, Long Island, Staten Island, all these different real estate
We have local
teams.
businesses following us.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Where
Yeah,
we are
local
now,
businesses
which is
and
awesome.
engaging
They're
with
just-
us.
And you're ultra responsive. I know because
Yeah.
we bullshit on
Yeah, that's how we
challenges.
talk. Yeah, I have your
so-
number. We just talk on there. You know, but that's what it is. You know, you want to get involved and you want people to feel approachable. And that's where Helen's talking about. You have to be humorous. You have to be funny, but you have to be professional. You have to come across right.
No, like certain times you'll come to me, we need to do that. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, this is the line we're crossing already at that point. You still have to have some kind
when
of...
I first started and we were here, like this was the line. We weren't ready to go past that. And then Helen had the idea for one of the TikToks and it really just took it up like a little notch with a little bit more vulgar. Said like verbiage, and originally I was like, we could do this one. She goes, oh, it has bad, like a little not really appropriate language in it. And I was like, all right. And then she came up with that idea. We posted it, and then it immediately doubled like anything we had gotten prior to it. And I was just like, okay, well that line's crossed.
I mean, I curse all the time.
May I ask what the line was?
I mean, we can curse. It's fine. It's it was just literally. Fuck this, fuck that, fuck this, fuck this.
That's hilarious.
But it was just ideas.
And it was all like because so many agents, like she said, we have, X, Y amount of agents. They come in the door like, hey, I have an idea for this. Hey, I have an idea for this. Hey, I have an idea for this. And I'm already dealing with her about something. And there's points in the day where I'll have a line out the door. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. It's enjoyable because you see immediate return.
It's fun.
I see immediate return, so I feel happy about it. They see immediate return. They feel great about themselves.
People reaching out to them. Oh, my aunt, my this needs to sell a house. I'm like, it's freaking working.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But it's a fun way to generate business.
It's a blast.
And to network. You just, again, it's like it's a giant networking thing that's nonstop. You're just interacting.
What I will suggest to everyone else, though, be prepared also to get the backlash of it. I mean, not everybody's going to like what you're doing. You shouldn't care at all because you can't make everybody happy. At this point, I really don't care what people say about us because I know that we're falling into the straight line of we're not crossing the bad side, but we are working to expand ourselves, but we're not insulting anyone. So
So anyone that's critiquing you is either jealous or will never be a client.
But I'm okay with that. It's actually helping me. So in case they do become one day, let's say they want to become a client and they see that we're like that, they don't like us, they save me the time.
Yeah.
So I don't have to deal with it.
And also, when people comment, even if it's negative stuff, it helps your engagement.
Still a comment.
It's a comment. It helps your engagement.
And you know, it's funny what I notice when somebody negative throws something at me, everyone else jumps at them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have to do
because
it.
most people are good. Most people are good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people
because if you think about it, like most people will go out of their way to say something bad as opposed to something good because they're angry and
But
whatever.
you have to take that construction, criticism to some element too. Like you have, like that's the thing too. Like we had a.
But usually 99% of the time, it's not valid.
Oh, it's not valid. No. Yeah. But in the one case, it was valid. 2 weeks ago, I had posted a picture of 3 of our male agents, and they were just posing for a picture. It was in the sunlight, so they're squinting.
I know the picture. I love that picture.
The rap album with Frank. The rap album with Frank. It was Gio and it was Nick. And there was a comment on it from somebody who didn't follow us. Looks to be like a local woman from Bay Ridge, probably an older woman or whatever. And she goes, "This is whatever image you're trying to go for as a professional company. This is not it." And I was like,
"What do you mean?
What do you mean?" So I responded.
What do you mean?
So I responded. I'm like, "I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what you mean." She goes, "They look like a bunch of roughneck guys who are going to strong arm people out of the business." I was like, "Okay."
But that's also kind of the point. That's the humor of it. Yes. He missed the point.
Yeah, but once we did another picture, she wrote, "This looks more approachable."
Yeah, she never followed us, she never followed us, and then she still went and found our account and checked back 3 days later.
That's a hater.
But what's nice is I responded to her.
But after that, she changed.
Yeah, and she changed, and she replied.
And you converted her.
She goes, "Now this is a great picture."
Now she's a fan.
Yeah, now she followed
So not everyone who says negative necessarily hates us.
Yeah.
Listen, it's also people's opinion. I'm okay with people's opinion.
Yeah, for sure. They're entitled.
Absolutely. As long as they don't take it to like extreme. Cursing us out. I mean, I'm not okay with that.
No, that's just
because I had
just gonna be blocked right there.
I had replied to her saying, "Well, we're so sorry. This isn't the image we're trying to get across. Anything like that. We want it to be, the sun was definitely in their eyes, and we thought it was a funnier picture and a nicer picture of them." And she goes, "Well, maybe next time, take a nicer picture." So I did.
She meant it in a bad way.
I don't think she meant it in a bad way. So I had posted it. She replied. She goes, "This is a good picture," and I was like, "We're so happy." We thought about it because I did put it into consideration because it's funny to us. It might not be funny to somebody else. And so you have to think about it, but you also want to still be yourself.
Of course.
So I responded like, we're
But I
happy.
think partially why people don't go on social is because they're scared of
they're
that.
fear of that judgment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just a picture.
It's just a
It's just a
picture.
picture. It's just a video.
It's just it's just a saying, it's just a curse.
The truth is, as well, is like people don't pay as much attention to your content as you think they do, with the exception of
They
haters
do.
who stalk you and who
No,
are
no, no.
jealous.
They pay attention.
Yeah, I get
They
DMs.
pay attention because
but not
it
to the
shows us.
not to the extent of critique. That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not saying
saying
like people aren't like waiting and
Oh,
be like,
they- yeah.
what can I
It
nitpick
comes up,
today?
they
That's what
absorb
I
it,
mean.
they
There's
go.
Yeah,
probably one there like that, but
Yeah.
most people don't do that. They're
Exactly. So, but that should give people the freedom to post, to put themselves out there, because you don't have nearly as many people like waiting to fix your stutter or your body language, whatever it is in it as you think. Just feel free to post, because there's so much. Think about all the content that we're competing with.
Right.
There's so much. Every kid wants to be famous for the sake of being famous.
Are you kidding me? My kids are asking me, "Can I be on YouTube?" I was like, "For what?" He goes, "Well, I want to be famous."
Yeah.
I was like, "Why? You're 9. Calm down."
Why do you want to be famous? I also don't understand
working on that.
the
Calm
appeal
down.
of being famous. Like, this is going to sound really dumb, but one of my biggest fears is being famous.
Really?
Other than like losing a limb or getting sick, of course you have
It's a lot
those
of
things.
attention.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
a
like,
lot.
yeah,
It's just
because
too
people
much,
to be on your stuff 24/7, of course it would be great because you have so much success,
Yeah.
but being
But it comes
constantly
with
judged
cost.
and people, exactly,
comes with a
there's a
cost,
cost. These celebrities, of course, they're wealthy, they're successful, but
But they're-
anytime
a
they're
lot of times
paparazzi, they're
they're
being
unhappy.
chased, they're miserable. They can't go to a grocery store, they can't live a real life.
100%. I'm not so sure I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Living the Kanye
You,
West
you would
life.
you would be able to handle it.
You think so?
You'd be
I
fine.
think
You'd be
so.
fine.
Plus, with your bodyguard, you'd be
Well,
perfectly fine.
that probably, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have him
That
here
would
on
work.
next
He'd have a
time.
blast.
And Mir's got some incredible stories which may not be safe for video and camera, but
he had
maybe you can
an
dial it
interesting
down.
life.
He has. He's had a very, very interesting life, and he's such a great guy because Amir is just like this massive gorilla.
Right.
But you talk to him, he's the nicest guy in the world.
Can you imagine, from my perspective, coming in for an interview and his opening line?
This is
was-
the boss's wife.
It was like he
I
would-
mean, the wife's.
Yeah, he
that's
introduced himself as the chauffeur originally, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, they have like a chauffeur here. That's wild." And then he sits down next to Helen and he goes, "This is a pretty close chauffeur. This is wild."
Yeah.
And then they're having a conversation. I'm like, "Are you guys married?" Like, "Yeah." Why? I'm like, "Why'd you introduce yourself as the chauffeur?"
to mess with
He
you.
says
to
it to
mess with you, of
everybody.
course.
No, but he says it to everybody. I'm Helen's driver and her bodyguard.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh boy," like, "Who's Helen?" At the beginning, he's like, "No, he's also my."
But it's fun. But it's fun that goes with the branding too.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it's like
He's begging me to sit because you see my car. He's begging me to sit in the back. I'm
Yeah.
like, "I'm not gonna sit in the back." He goes, "Why not?" "Cause you're my husband.
Yeah.
You're my driver." He goes, "Yeah, but it's an image." I'm like, "Man, quiet. I'm not doing it."
It's not necessary.
No.
It's not like once
No,
in a
he's
while have
joking
some fun
around
with
with
it.
me.
But
Like, he's
yeah,
messing
you don't
with
need to. But
No, I'm.
it would
very
be
simple.
fun. It would be
It
fun
would be
here
fun.
and there.
You know what's funny though? Like inside, I'm very simple. I think I'm gonna remain simple forever, no matter how much money I'm.
Don't change.
No.
Unless it's to improve
no.
the business and keep growing, then change.
Yeah, but
But-
I'm internally, I'm not going to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I treat everybody, whether they have no money to a lot of money. To me, people are people.
People are people. And I also think that goes with the immigrant mentality as well.
I think so, because I came
You've
here.
been
I had
through
no
a lot.
money at all.
You lived in 3 different countries. You've come from the bottom to the top. You've
Actually, I
experienced
lived
a
in
lot.
4 because the reason
It just adds, by the
I
way.
know.
There's just so much to depth to it. Like
5
every
languages, 4 countries. Yeah.
Wait, what
I
about? Did
lived-
you talk about the tennis?
So that was about to go there. So I lived in Spain. That's how I know Spanish. I lived in Spain because I was a professional tennis player.
What? Jesus. Doesn't stop you.
I
Not
was
wrong.
an Israeli champion for 4 years.
Amazing.
And I won the European Championships, and I got a scholarship in Louis Bruguera's academy. But I got hurt with my back, and that's my career was over.
Gotcha.
And then
played
became
football
a real
and
estate.
softball.
Sorry,
in
but
high
that's
school.
really cool. But that says something too, Helen, because we haven't talked about it, but I'm sure that you have some discipline and the
Yes.
competitive side of you
Oh,
of being a
I'm
professional
very
tennis player
competitive.
translates to this business. It must.
Yes,
It must.
I'm very competitive internally,
Yeah.
but without hurting someone. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go ahead while I'm hurting someone else.
Yeah. And you don't need to.
Exactly. So, but I've seen a lot that people do that.
Yeah.
It's plenty of room.
I don't believe in
Instead
that.
of spending energy and focusing on hurting someone else, take that energy, focus on improving yourself and your own
Absolutely.
business, and you'll achieve the same, if not
Absolutely.
greater success.
But I do have discipline. I have, again, my word is everything. So it comes from that. I think also the sports part of it, because I remember being on court at 6 a.m. and finishing between school. I was a kid, and then back home I would be at 10 p.m. So my life was all about.
Well, it's kind of an afterthought because we're getting kind of to the end here, and we're just mentioning it now. But that has a tremendous impact on your personality and your success. It's awesome. I'm glad I know that about you.
Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I guess we are kind of wrapping up.
Yes.
So, any final thoughts? Final thoughts that you'd like to share? Anyone getting new to the business? What's next for Challenger Brokers? What's the plan? What are we doing?
So the next thing for Challenger Brokers is, of course, to make sure that this office operates the way I want it. And then the goal is to start opening it up slowly. Once this is a proven concept, start opening it around the country. And also, eventually, I want to develop buildings and Challenger Brokers to sell them. My goal is to become a developer, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I freaking love that. That's amazing. And where can people find you?
Everywhere. So we're on Facebook, Instagram.
Google us.
That's right.
At
we're
Challenger
legit
Brokers.
everywhere.
Facebook.com/Challenger Brokers. ChallengerBrokers.com.
Basically everywhere.
It's
All
like
right.
bros and hoes. What are you yelling?
Boats and hosts.
Boats and
I
hosts.
was trying to think of it.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having
Thank
you
you for
guys
having
on.
us.
And
Thank
honestly,
you for
to
having
get to know you guys a little bit more, even though we talk here and there, it's because we're talking about a deal. We don't have the time to get to know each other. So for me, this has been a real treat.
Likewise.
And
Thank you.
for those people in the business, you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot from these people.
Thank you so much for watching.
So thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
We out.
Yay.